yesterday and still lost a game in plat.
Oh, yeah.
The other DPS was actually not doing, like, anything.
Yeah, sorry, Brave, the video is paused. I just paused it because, or I haven't started talking about this thing yet.
Should we watch it from the caster's POV?
No, because I'm able to hear people make the calls and stuff, so I'd like to stay in,
What if
Dawn's
we
point of view.
900 IQ it and we sync them up?
What? To sync? Okay, now that's
Yeah.
too complicated. If you guys are gonna type
a website or plugin that we can use for that.
If you guys are gonna type it in just DM me individually, I guess, because I'm gonna have this on full screen.
Here, while you're watching one, I'll just get the overhead view from the cast. That way I can see the overhead view if you ask any questions about it.
Okay.
I'll be able to let you know.
From what I saw on Rialto, from what I'm remembering, you guys played really good. I was surprised by how well you guys played, and you guys made right calls about like staying on choke and stuff. But I didn't agree.
Even when they got quiet, they still played like pretty decently actually.
Yeah.
We just weren't calling out targets.
At the beginning of this map, though, I think Orchestra and Dawn were talking about who should be making shot calls, but that's the only thing I don't agree on is Dawn is the shot caller, but I think when Orchestra asked him, he said that I think he gave him target and direction calling, which so one of the tanks need to decide which one's going to do the the actual target calling, and then direction should still be on Dawn, just because he has a better overview of where the team's at, whereas Orchestra or Sci-Fan will only have like the front line point of view.
I see. Makes sense actually. Who is your caster? Like Bort or something?
Oh, Orchestra and Psy joined us.
Oh my god, we have everybody. Not literally, but...
Yeah, the people in school didn't join.
I don't understand why Rich doesn't just skip class.
Oh, yeah, what school is overrated? Yeah, that's fine. You guys can just message me individually or in the team. If Alright, well okay. So I'm just gonna pause this real quick. I think the team's confused with who needs to do shot calling, right? I just want to point out real quick, the Sci-Fan was so quiet in like the previous games, and like suddenly Sci-Fan just became like a different person in the past 2 games that we've been playing. It's like insane, and I like really like that Sci-Fan's making all these calls. So when we're moving forward, I would like to have Sci-Fan do the target calling if he's gonna stay in game. Otherwise, like the 2 tanks need to communicate and decide which one's gonna be doing the actual target calling. But Sci-Fan's making like the great target calling right now, so I'm really happy with seeing that. The only thing I also did notice, since Orchestra is here now, at one point, I think it might be a little bit past this point, he complains about, the team sees it as complaining, and Orchestra probably just sees it as like asking where the heals were, but it does come off as like a complaint, right? So, but right here, you're complaining about you're being really low, but really McNanny is the only one there to heal, and I guess if you had paid attention to who is actually there, then you would know that there's only one healer. And I don't know if that's on both of you and Dawn, so Dawn needs to communicate that he's like on his way so that you guys play a little bit more passively. And then Orchestra, you need to just be aware of like who is alive and who's dead and who's coming back. Being on the front lines is going to be hard to pay attention to that, but you guys need to work on that. So unfortunately, like the reason why you guys aren't getting as much heals right now is because both of the healers are getting staggered a lot. So I don't know if like you guys need to call out for peels or something. That shouldn't be the case. Eventually, our Zen does go Moira, I think, just to stay alive. But that's the reason why there aren't any heals on you guys as much. So as you can tell, like right there, Mercy was just kind of getting away from. They're all basically targeting the healers, and that's the whole reason. They need to be doing that anyways, but that's why you guys aren't getting any heals. So here Dawn switches to Moira. And here, I think you guys played this choke right here, which I'm really proud of you guys for doing. Because if you guys were like a couple weeks before, you guys would probably play pretty far back and not right at this choke. So that's a really good positioning on your guys' part. So here though, Dawn, you need to use your heal orb much more than you would on your spray here. You basically want to use your heal orb anytime you have a chance to use it, and then your spray is just like secondary.
And that gives you the chance to recharge your healing beam also.
Yeah. This is a good call on your guys' part for not pushing forward, since they basically have it.
Okay, I've lined up the videos.
Well, I'm gonna be pausing, so.
Okay. I'm ready.
So I think right there, was that Alice, or? I think that was Alice, saying to have Orchestra let him know when he does use his shatter. But I don't think Orchestra just caught up in the moment and didn't actually say it until he actually shattered. So that was a mistake. Luckily, Alice did just like was able to press his button in time.
Yeah.
I think around
a couple other times where we have like a really close call.
So McNanny did a really good job too, like saying who needs the heals when they're not able to be there. So that's good. It also lets like the people know that if they're low, that somebody does have their back. So that's really good. And Don, you gotta get used to doing burst sprays instead of holding it down, because when you hold it down, your resources go down so low.
Yeah, if you do burst sprays, they get the passive healing over time too. So you don't have to use as many resources.
One thing I did notice here, and I think it's like a common issue that Orchestra runs into, is that he doesn't hold his shield quite enough because he misses basically anytime the other Rhine shatters, it always hits the team. I don't think he's blocked a single shatter at all in this match.
Yeah, that's probably something to work on for sure.
I think he got 1 or 2 shatters blocked.
Well, that's a good benefit of the doubt there. So like Saifan's making the calls, and that's the only thing, is you guys need to follow up on those calls. Once you designate a shot caller, regardless if they're making the right calls, your team needs to just follow up on it.
Push. Don't stay inside. No. Stay here. Don't give him space.
That's true.
Don't give him space. Stay here.
So that's good call on Sai. I'm glad he like like made that call and made it really important.
Go here.
And what was the call?
He just told like Orchestra not to push forward past the stairs.
Oh yeah. I like how we're holding here too. I think in the past we held too far back.
Yeah, definitely. You guys are definitely, especially like after you guys, the cart is still playing in the back here. I like the previous map that you guys played. I think Orchestra was in it too. You guys decided to hold back, and that was a mistake because then the team kind of just steamrolled up. And right now, you're not giving them really a chance to do that, or you, even if you are, like it's taking them much longer to do it.
Yeah, this is a much stronger position to hold from for sure.
So here, Orchestra needs to just communicate that he's going to shatter, not that he's shattered already. Just it gives your DPS time to position themselves to use their ult.
I'm watching the trees.
Nice, that's a huge stagger.
They have shadow.
But Don, you your orb throwing is much better than the last time I did see you do it. So you're definitely playing those walls a lot better now.
Mercy, 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 mercy. Thank you. Far above. Far up one. Nice.
Was that real time? Was that real time, Don, that said that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
No.
Don from the past knows what we're gonna say.
Shadow. No.
Just back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit.
Yeah, stay on the payload.
So I'm really glad to see McNanny switching over to Lucio too.
I'm gonna have dragons here. We can actually win this.
So there, I know you're stuck in grav, but you can. I know you can fade, not to get out of grav, but it just gives you vulnerability a little bit to survive a little bit longer.
Boy, that was popping off.
Yeah, dude.
Especially when you're that close to, I mean, they're that close to the cart or to the end point.
What's this do? Huh? Oops.
Yeah, we gotta be careful with that Zarya's grab. She's building it up quick.
Yeah, she does.
What do you want to play?
Saifan, can you actually do Zarya?
I'm gonna pause it because Siphon said he needs info to join our live view in Visor.
That's what I just tried to do too. For me, it starts at the very beginning when I try to join.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I'm streaming it, so you can,
Yeah, that's what I was looking at before.
you can go to Twitch. I'll put it up. Let me know if you guys, once it's there.
Oh, once it's on Twitch.
Yeah, well, like once Siphon is able to get in. I don't know if like Orchestra is looking at it there or Donna is looking at it there.
I was on Visor.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess does Visor require you to have your own login to see other people's shit? I don't know.
Yep, it does.
I'm logged in, but can you click a flag in the tool? No, that's something else.
I think Visor is a little buggy though, because it's still beta.
Yeah. Feels
Okay.
bad.
Sure.
sniper, soldier, Farah maybe.
Everybody's probably paying attention to Don's chat right now, seeing if he's talk shit about anyone.
Hesitant with like.
Oh, you guys are on attack now?
Their hit scan's really good, yeah.
They're on attack, yeah.
Oh, did that just start?
Just keep calling out there.
Oh, it synced up for me then.
Not call.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're good. You were killing.
Weird. It just took like a super long time
Look at me, I'm a statue now.
before it realized what it had to do, I guess.
Hey, no, hey, no.
I can do that too.
What do you think they are gonna run?
They're gonna run Widow again. They're gonna run Widow, for sure. Widow or Tracer, they don't run main.
It's not like a mute button on visor, is it?
Their new projectile DPS doesn't play main as far as I know, and Zoe doesn't play main either. Zoe's pretty much a solid
Am you
hit.
putting on visor? Like, can you hear me or something?
No, I mean, you can hear me, but it's not like a press to talk, so you're gonna hear like everything.
Anna's by herself inside.
Oh, I see.
Right side, right
So you're probably gonna hear like,
They have
if you listen to it on visor, you'll just hear like work conversations as well.
Hands on Discord.
Well, I don't hear you.
Okay.
I'm hack here.
Genji Discord. Saria Discord.
Oh my god, Zoe.
Genji Discord.
There's a Sombra behind. There's a Sombra.
So basically, like, if Siphon doesn't call out targets, then Dawn would call the targets, right? Like, they both would be the target callers, but only in the absence of Siphon's target calling.
Come back, Simon, come back.
Mm-hmm.
This is good that you guys kind of retreated back for a full regroup.
Anna no name.
They have no shield right, guys.
Just push up, just rush the Sombra behind.
I don't think she has any. He's
Hey,
Discord.
get on that right.
Somewhere behind.
Hey, Sombra.
Oh my god, yo. Can you res me? That's huge.
It's a reset.
Genji one.
Yeah, sorry guys, I messed up.
Yeah, let's, you guys wanna try going right side?
We can.
Go right side, go right side.
Let me res you, Don. Oh, we gotta wait for Rich. We gotta wait for Rich and Don.
Okay, good. I was worried you guys would start going in. I guess I forgot exactly what happened.
She's one.
Yo, run on me, run on me, run on me.
You're alone. You're alone.
Sombra down, push in, push in.
This was so unfortunate. I I watched this part. Felt so bad for Dawn.
I cannot.
Yeah, I hate playing Sand when they have a Nana.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you press the button too, you're just like, oh. Well.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm gonna switch here.
Zarya's on me, Zarya's on me.
Saria Discord.
Sombra
Somewhere behind. Somewhere behind.
Come on.
Somewhere is left side.
Sombra behind. She's one. Got her, fuck. Okay, I got you.
You know, for having an annoying Sombra, you guys are still doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We got to kill her sometime.
There we go.
They resetted. Yep.
That's the other thing your guys' team needs to work on, is not letting the Mercy res.
Oh, Mercy low.
That Ryan came out of nowhere, guys.
There is.
It's probably on Brigitte right there, to bash her.
Genji behind. Somewhere behind. Genji behind.
I feel like Rich should probably be turning when he hears that Genji or Sombra's behind.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, Rich, since you guys have like 2 tanks, Rich needs to play the role of just like being a peeler.
Yeah.
They have EMP. I don't think they are gonna use it. No.
There's a Genji behind us too, I think. Yeah, Genji in the building.
Yeah. Genji behind.
And you got Trance just a little late.
Call targets. Mercy.
Nice, nice.
Get Ryan.
Really good switch on Dawn here to switch. And then Alice, always with like the clutch, the clutch ults.
Let's go!
I got long spawn.
I don't know how he does it. I feel like the team is always about to lose, and then Alice just comes out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna decide to play today," and then like kill everything on set.
Now you have healers again.
Yeah.
I can rally.
Okay, they switched off Sombra. They went to the Reaper now.
They have Reaper and Pharah.
Imagine like actually taking a 3v1. Like that's a real risky choice, but I mean it worked out.
Yeah, especially when you had no time left to contest, you really have to.
Yeah. It worked.
So Dawn here, I noticed Ryan, there's a couple times where Ryan will charge. As Lucio, you can speed boost in and then try and boop Ryan as he's charging, because when he charges, he always has a target in mind, and if you do that, it kind of fucks him up and he ends up charging somewhere else or charging like someone else. So you just get in the habit of like getting your boop ready when you see his charge.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay, let's go.
I'm gonna switch guys.
Come back, Seth. Yeah,
Ah.
Alice, come back.
Oh, they have.
Alice,
Yeah, fair
come
enough.
back.
We need his skin.
This is good that you guys are falling back. Donna's like yelling for, who was that, Alice, to come back, so that was really good.
Okay, holding target.
Yeah, we're just getting kind of quiet.
Oh, Far saw me. Far's
Fire rise on the building.
So Siphon, if you're dead, since you're the or the target caller, just say that you're dead and somebody else needs to call the targets, what I just think you just did, but that way Dawn can be prepared. So like right there, another charge you could boop, and he might like. There's a chance he might have missed all of you guys.
Reaper.
Reaper left side.
I think starting at this point here, you guys like are really on point on your target. Like working as a team, getting everyone down.
Yeah, nice job.
So right here, like I'm really glad you guys pushed forward, and really good call on Don's part for everyone to push forward while he stays on cart.
Far, and nice above, they have barrage. I cannot do anything about it. Far above you.
got her.
Normally I'd say that's like not specific enough, but everyone was in the same place, so I mean.
Yeah.
Reaper on left.
And usually I call it like Farah above too when my team's grouped up.
Heal Ryan.
So make sure you guys say who you are if you're needing heals.
Go. You heal more. Sorry. I have beat.
This is a really good aggression on right here. Though Don, if your team is gonna do that and you're not with them, just beat. Get in a position where you're in line of sight and then beat so they can play safely. Instead, you beat a little bit too late here.
Genji on the Reinhardt on payload. Reinhardt rock. Push to the gates.
Because if you beat and then they gives them sustainability and they can survive whatever fight they're about to hit, because they're essentially going in 5 versus 6. You beat, your cart will catch up and then you'll be in line of sight with them again, and then you can push forward and help your team out.
Mm-hmm.
You have man, right? That's why I said they were there.
We have Lucio? Yeah, we have Lucio. We can do it.
I don't
They
think
have
so.
me.
Oh, fuck, this is gonna be tight.
So I was really surprised your guys' team pushed as far as you did. So look, when you wall ride, you go so fast. So you really need to try and do that more often.
I'm not gonna make it.
Okay.
I'll fucking stick around though.
See, like you guys were like literally like a centimeter from pushing that cart all the way. So I was really proud that you guys even got it that far, because normally you guys probably would have been stuck at like that second choke.
Yeah, let's.
You guys forgot to call out targets so much.
There I am.
Towards the beginning there was a bit of an issue with calling out targets.
You wouldn't be the one to counter May at that point, Siphon. your DPS has to be the counters to Mei, so they would play like Pharah or
A
something.
little bit faster too
Yeah, I
in the
agree.
future.
And then like Lucio could help a little bit by just playing more around you and booping Mei off of you as much as he can.
Use ults that we don't necessarily coordinate with one another, so we kind of end up just using them when we don't need to, and then we're like down ults in the next fight. But yep. No, Brave, you weren't in that game, so you didn't miss any targeted feedback. Calling out targets more.
So, like I was saying earlier before everybody joined in, from the way the conversations went last night, that I got the aftermath of what happened, I was going into this VOD review thinking you guys did terribly, and that wasn't the case at all. You guys like did really, really amazing, and so I was kind of shocked to find out that you guys were like having disagreements and feeling tilted or whatever it is. I think you guys really need to be proud of yourselves for your games. I mean, this game and then the previous match, you guys did so good. I don't know that you guys realize how well you guys did, but if you guys keep it up, you guys can like you guys are improving like so much right now. I don't think you guys give yourself enough credit for that, and you guys are just focused on like such small like things that it's like affecting the team environment.
Wait, switch me now.
No, my food delivery.
The ref the info.
Oh, okay, okay.
Wait, so Brave, are you gonna off tank?
We're going in the opposite
Yeah, that's fine.
direction.
Yeah, breaking up there. Yeah.
Cool, yeah. What are you doing?
Or I can support if you want to off tank Greenie. I don't care either way.
I'll stick to support right now. It's okay.
Yo, so Logic on the other team, I have my friends.
I'm gonna fast forward this. Ain't got time for this.
That was good. Thanks, dude. He's super good.
Alright, I boys.
Let's get to the juicy drama, yeah?
Bring out the wrecking ball.
What do you think they are?
Definitely.
Widow?
All we need is some like
Isn't that why we were in Owlet?
that's why we need some we're just missing some like love connection drama, and then we got like a good like telenovela thing going on.
Soldier?
Let's try goats.
Oh my gosh. So when you guys said let's try goats, I like my head was like, oh my god, please don't do that. And then you guys did it, and then you guys like steamrolled them, and I was like, shit, well, forget what I said.
Yeah, she shouldn't be. We just need to
Brave
go
shouldn't
straight to
push.
point. Down the breach and straight to the point.
Fenzito's probably gonna run Orisa on this map.
Yeah, I think.
I can tell you that. I don't know about Cap. I haven't seen Cap play.
I think we just need to watch for.
But I think because you guys ran goats, you guys have ran goats in the past before, and it's failed miserably. But I think like after the VOD reviews and you guys running it enough that you guys are kind of getting the hang of it. So watching Dawn play Lucio in goats was like giving me a little bit of a heart attack, because I've always mentioned like keep it on speed boost, so that's what he does. But then like his like health always goes so low.
Just go main and.
Oof. I see. I
I'm,
get what you
I'm
mean.
just start learning to play Lucio. It's not that hard, but it's not that easy.
My biggest concern is building charge though for the main player.
It's like a lot of Overwatch shows. Understandable.
Let's go.
Yeah, they have.
Yep, John. Let's go.
Yeah, I have like 30 minutes on it, but not really, but really low time. I don't have boost, but we went to the point. Point.
So right here, you guys like gave me a little heart attack, because then like Lucio was the only one here, and I was like, what the fuck? Where's the team?
See, now I'm not gonna lie. At this moment, my food delivery had came.
Can we get to the point, please?
Oh yeah, that I heard that a little bit in the voice chat.
Yeah, so I was getting my food, and then by the time I came back, I saw just Dawn on point as Lucio, and everyone else spread out, and I was really nervous. But then they capped the point, and I was like, what?
Hanzo.
That was quick.
Yeah, Dawn's making really good target calls right now.
Swing, 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 swing. Nice. I'm gonna go for people.
And then right here when he taxis
good
everyone was
taxi.
really good too.
Yes.
But then like everybody else started coming back. I was really surprised. I was like, what? Why are they trickling in? Okay.
Moira one.
So this is like their mistake here is they like were trickling in. I guess they like the only benefit of it is they're killing time a little bit, but they didn't do it like nearly enough
Yeah.
to do that.
It's not really worth the feed. Look at how many people you guys are killing. You guys are getting all of that old charge for next point now.
Oh, I'm trapped. Sir. We can snuggle, we can snuggle.
Did you say we can snuggle? That's cute.
Snowball.
Oh, I thought he said we
Sorry about pronunciation.
I liked it better when it was when I thought it was snuggle.
I mean, it is nap time.
Hook, hook.
I was like, oh, Dawn's so cute.
Time. Hook, hook, get the hook. The hook, the hook, the hook.
I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They're rallying. We need a snuggle. Yeah.
Junkrat.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. That should be a new thing that everyone says in comp when they rally.
Yeah. Snuggle, guys. Snuggle.
up, guys.
You guys are doing like really, really good here. Like, unfortunately, yes, Orga's just calling to get out. That's good call here. I think you guys also recognize that you need to get off of goats at this point. Yeah, so Dawn goes back to Swit.
I'll play.
Neither of you. I mean, I could handle the Pharah.
We need yeah.
A little.
I wanted to go Ana there.
I know, I know. What is the team comp? Oh yeah, because you guys are kind of running. Well, okay, yeah. Now you guys are definitely running double hit skin. Like, I'm glad you guys are listening to my advice here.
They have a widow.
Like, you shouldn't go on a to take care of Farah unless you
Fourth
really
map.
have to.
Fourth map to take care of Farah, I think we run a hit skin and Sombra, but it still works out because I think we hack Farah like
She's Discord.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty sad. I feel bad for the Farah.
Junkrat behind to the right.
Oh, and then this part here, I was like, oh my gosh, it's one.
Okay, that's a reset.
Second time, darn.
This tires keep killing everybody.
Okay, I'm going Mercy.
You guys might just need to, like the Koreans do it. And like they're super aggressive with their voice chat. I don't know how annoying it would be, but like they just like repeat things constantly. So I don't know if that's helpful for you guys, but Dawn would be like reset, 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 and then I don't know. It just makes a point.
Have you seen all those like translation spreadsheets so that you can watch like Korean streams?
It sounds like
Like,
they
this
have
is what
like
the
Tourette's or
pilots mean.
something.
Shatter, be careful.
Yeah. I understand Naisu.
Reinhardt Discord.
They say that. I don't even know if that's Korean.
I need Diva behind.
I'm really glad that the both healers are kind of watching each other. But then Dawn left poor McNanny, and then McNanny died.
I mean, it's a dog eat dog world, you know?
It's okay, we got it.
No, I'm just kidding.
You have to call where she is because if you just say on the
And this is, I think that's Brave talking, so that's really good. That he's just reiterating that people need to call out where people are.
They have another tire.
Yeah. I think if you're right behind the team, it makes sense. You guys are down, and when you guys said that healers needed help, they probably looked behind and didn't see anyone, and they got confused.
Yeah, so like here, Orchestra's saying, need heals, guys. It just kind of comes off. Like,
Yeah, the way he says it.
yeah, he says it, I know he doesn't mean it, but it, like, for the team who hasn't played with him very much, it really does come off like he's, like, demanding it. So, Orcus just is, like, work on saying that, like, a nicer, or just say, like, can I, like, get a top off before we go in, or something like that, you know? It's just, just changing that tone makes the team feel a lot better.
Diva. Moira is one. Tire coming from the right.
That Tire was completely looking for the Zen too.
Brave wants to know if we saw his ult.
No.
Fight on point.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Junkrat Discord. Diva on me.
Oh, you mean your DM?
Lucio
Yeah,
Discord.
nice.
Lucio Discord.
You guys like held this so long too.
That's a reset.
Feels bad. 2 CP.
So, like, McNair's not on here, but when Dawn calls for a reset and it's just Rich, unfortunately, McNanny's gonna have to play selfish and just let Rich die. She just has to turn around and like, Guardian Angel to Zen and leave, because Rich's life is not as important as McNanny's life. And
Try my luck on Hanzo.
I have a clip for that.
a click for what?
A clip?
Oh.
Twitch clip.
Then go down main. Take fresh drop shield.
Diva is high ground.
Go left, follow me, let's go.
Where's the resident sleeper remote?
I got Lucio.
They wall this off for us.
I'm trying to make a comment about 2 CP.
Diva's low.
Moira death. Fight on point.
Get on point.
Oh.
Everybody on point.
Oh, that baby diva. Yeah.
Mace dead.
Reinhardt.
You probably could have gone towards.
Moira.
It's
funny
floating.
seeing- It's so funny seeing resident sleeper like slowly crawl across the screen.
When you trans there, you probably could have gone towards the soldier a little bit more because he was low health, and I don't think it reached him.
Yeah, I don't think I even saw him.
Yeah,
Look at how fast he's going.
Yeah. You gotta really. Those wall rides are like insane. And then, of course, Alice with the freaking clutch again. What the fuck?
Junkrat.
Deja vu.
Junkrat. Moira.
Those are really good calls. Like,
Orchestra, Moira.
Dawn and Siphon are like on the same page with who to call too.
Finally.
Dawn's just been in this place before.
Good job, guys.
Good job. Fuck, man, those dragons.
Yeah, that was dope, dude.
Freaking jump right here.
They are gonna die.
So here is where you guys start to fall apart.
Let's, I kind of want to run a sim, but I'm not sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know how or why it affected the team so much because of just this one call-in and everything just started to go down hills. It was like, really, you guys are like riding a. You guys should be feeling like you're riding a high right now.
Just in case, or do you want to switch later?
Brave, stop.
Or far.
I don't think Cal. Actually, there's probably people like Cal hates.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, this
Cal, do you hate anybody like in real life?
Logic right now.
No, I
Do you
did
have like
have.
a nemesis?
I did have an issue like a few years ago, maybe 5 or 7 years ago at work, where it basically I was talking to one of my top 500s about this situation, and I told him it kind of reminded me of this situation here. Is like I had this like I was basically I think I was probably brave in the situation, and then like my coworker was like was an orchestra, and I was just like, I don't know, we just didn't get along for whatever reason, and eventually, like after a few years, it worked itself out. But it took a really long time. But I think it's just because I was pretty, like my mind was just not very mature at the time, and I didn't look at things the right way.
They are goats.
Yeah, so not necessarily 2 years for you guys.
So here, I gotta.
Understand.
I'm gonna rewind it because I
Yeah, here's the moment.
you don't understand how many times I've watched this. Like,
They are goats.
yeah,
Like 20?
would say a little bit more than that. And I like watched it with my top 500s too. So here, right, they're running goats. Their whole team is just right here, right? And then you guys honestly, like I'm gonna try and put this delicately. Both of you guys made two different calls. So in people's minds, both calls are completely separate calls, when in actuality, both calls were completely right. And the reason why I'm going to say they're right is, so Orchestra made the call that you guys need to stay on high ground and just wait for an engagement. Brave's call was to contest the point. Now, they're both right because I'll explain. The comp that you guys are running is actually perfect against goats. Now, the point of going against goats is that you want to wait to engage them as long as you can, so that the team can wait for the DPS to get picks. So with that in mind, Orchestra's saying to wait. I don't think he knew that he's waiting for that exactly. I think he was just waiting for a team of 6 to go in. And Orchestra can correct me if you're in this, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. And he's messaging me now. That is what I was waiting for. So you were waiting for a full group of 6 to engage.
I think in the game he actually said that he wanted to see if they could get long range picks.
Alright, I can talk for a little bit there. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, so basically
Guest
my
speaker
whole...
orchestra.
The speaker. Yeah, basically my whole train of thought was that to get wait for the DPS to charge their ults a little bit and hopefully get a pick. That's why I wanted everyone to stay on high ground, because we had 2-0 lead at this point, and giving up 1 or 2 ticks even wouldn't really be a big deal. So like with that in mind, I wanted to keep high ground, hopefully DPS get some damage in, and then we would engage when we need to. That was my whole train of thought there.
Okay. So, I mean, that's exactly right. However, Diva is also not wrong. Diva wanted to contest as well, but Diva's job it's gonna be, your guys are against goats. Goats is like a shit to play against. It's either gonna work or not gonna work. So Diva's job is to contest, but you're gonna be unfortunately contesting alone, because all you're doing is really distracting them while DPS tries and get picks. So your Diva would jump down, right, and then just walk over, so you save your boost, and then you would boost out immediately and boost back up to your team. And I think you almost did that, Brave. We'll look at here. So you're on point right now. This is your time, and that was your time to, like, instead you boosted back in when you should boost up. And then because you guys are making 2 different calls, I think like Brave knew that he needed to contest, but didn't know that the team doesn't need to contest right away. That it made the team super confused, like half of you guys dropped and half of you guys didn't. And then, so honestly, like, it's nobody's fault there. And I know this isn't like, the bigger picture isn't this little situation here, but for this particular situation, it was nobody's fault. If you guys are going to place blame, then you would have to place it on DPS for not getting the picks. But they also couldn't get picks because, like, it was such a weird situation right now.
It was just very confusing, because as soon as we saw the Diva go in, then we kind of thought like, oh shit, like we gotta help our teammate, right? And then we all like, so half of us like jump down, half of us stay on the high ground, and then we get picked off very, very fast.
Yeah, and I think that might be on the coach's fault for not like coaching you guys against codes.
Yeah, it's just hard because we want to prepare you guys for like all the general situations, but then like nothing really applies to every situation, and I think this is kind of one of those rare cases.
Well, and honestly, I was really thinking that goats was gonna not be a thing. Goats is so broken right now. Like, I was surprised that they haven't nerfed anything yet, and so I don't know.
This is like the first time that we've ever seen like a specific comp be OP too, I feel like. I mean, there have been ones that are meta, but this is like such... It has like very specific guidelines, I feel like. With like small changes to like one of the tanks or something sometimes, or a healer.
So like since that interaction with that disagreement, I think from here on out you guys stayed pretty quiet. So like you guys lost this point not because of the... You guys just stopped calling targets.
Yeah, our communication broke down really fast after this. And one thing I would like maybe suggest that maybe if we had a beginning of each match or something, or a beginning of each map, that we just had like someone making these calls so we're not confused. So like rather it be Dawn or Brave or
I think you came in late, Orchestra, but so I was saying Dawn is ultimately the shot caller. He's supposed to be the one to call out directions, and he's gonna be the one to call out when the team needs to reset or engage. And then one of your tanks, it doesn't matter who, is gonna be the target caller, and they call out the targets of who's low and who they need to be attacking. But when the tank falls short of that and they die, or they just for whatever reason stop communicating, Dawn picks up who the shot caller, will pick that part up naturally.
Okay, because I think beginning of the whole game, like
I heard you guys' conversation, and
yeah, I was a little confused because I thought Dawn was our guy, and then he's like, oh no, you can help too. I don't know if whether it was to me or
I think that's the case because I don't think we made it like really clear in the past, so I'm like telling you guys now that that's how you guys should be doing it, and for whatever reason if Dawn can't make it, then some other off healer would need to be the shot caller or the direction and team caller.
Brave is making some comments in Visor chat.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say Mercy for more consistent healing and the damage boost.
I told you not to text in Visor because I can't. I'm in full screen.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Let me go back.
Sorry, I just wanted to see a dog crawl across the screen.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, what the fuck is that?
So he said Ryan and Brig get to sit and take a nap on high ground while this happens. Well, yes, because they didn't grab it. They didn't have a tick yet, right? Like they're just sitting on point. So if you just one person, you don't actually you can contest it or you don't have to contest it. But the point is somebody needs to get picks before you guys can go through, because the goats is running at close range and they're gonna dominate you. Like that's just the situation, unfortunately, in Overwatch right now. It's not even like a team or how the team plays right now. That's just unfortunately the meta right now. So the only way to take care of goats is to get picks, and then you guys can engage. You guys, and you got the comp you guys are running, you should have the capacity to, it's not holding high ground. It doesn't matter if he's high ground or low ground, as long as you don't, the point is that you don't engage until you get picks. It doesn't matter where you are. So it's up to the Widow and the Junk to get the picks, and even if you don't, your point is to try and get ult as soon as you can. So like Junk just spams the shit out of the death ball that they're running, and he gets his ult charge, and then he uses his tire to break them up, and then you guys can come in, because that way he'll at least get a pick or something. Because you guys cannot, with the heroes you guys are running, unfortunately you can't beat that death ball unless you get the picks. Right, I'm not saying Junk isn't supposed to be on point. Junk would be behind shield or somewhere in the distance and just spamming the point. Nobody needs to play the point. You only need to play the point if they have like already like the 1 or 2 ticks, but at that point they didn't have any ticks. So your goal is just to try and get the picks as much as possible.
Yeah, because we have the time advantage, right? Like we can give up a tick or two because we have we don't want to like go and engage into a goat where they can murder us at close range, where we can just like take our time, right?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, literally, 3 top 500s is telling me this exact same information. So you can stay in.
mean, when I hear 2 ticks, I start to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though. But they haven't had a tick yet.
No, yeah, that's true though. In fact, I don't think they're 0% right now. Yeah.
Yeah, they had nothing.
I mean, you guys are right up there. Like, you guys could drop down anytime, really.
Like,
Aren't you too? Okay, it's just we're being trolled by Brave.
so like if you like they can either stay up here, they can drop down here, but the whole team's right here. They need to move as a whole to get to you, right? Or they can just stay on point. But your Widow's sitting up here, and I don't know, Junk is either up here or like over here, but they need to be getting picks down here first.
It's hard to say what the Diva's gonna do. But I feel like having the shield for Junk could be pretty useful over there. Looks like ballet.
Yeah, Diva basically is dancing everywhere.
Yeah.
But your escape plan is always to use your boosters to get out.
No, I think he means like look at Diva's position right now specifically.
Oh, it kind of looks like she's dancing.
Where's Diva?
She's right in front of the screen.
Yeah, she's on your line, standing on your line doing
Should
ballet.
be good for Junkrat. Like when they are crossing here.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, we'll stick normal.
We need to focus maybe the Diva so Junkrat can do more damage.
I'm going back full screen.
Yeah, they're going right point. They're going right point. Okay, here we go. With me, guys. With me. Try to get the parade. I got
Wait, have you started?
So
it yet?
there, so I'm gonna say like there, you guys like you basically knew they only had 1 tick to get, right? So that's the only reason why you don't wait to engage is you don't have the time. But because they have this entire like they had 3 ticks to get, you can't afford to let them get a tick or 2. But because of this, you didn't have time, so that's why you guys would have to engage sooner than later or play on point.
Have you started playing it again? Because it's not going for me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Try
I'm sure it'll be
refreshing it.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's still frozen.
Yeah, I don't know, just refresh your thing or just look at Twitch. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, Brave.
I think he is. No, I'm not sarcastic in like a bad way though. I think he's just kidding.
Well, to be fair, I made the same point before I talked to anybody about it, so. And then,
No, yeah.
like, and Isa mentioned it, like, in the VOD, like, in the actual, like, live, like, video. He
yeah,
mentioned
I
it.
didn't know like the exact thing to do, to be honest. I just gave you guys like what I thought made the most sense at the time.
Like, and again, like, the whole point of this league is just to give you guys suggestions and advice. On whether you guys take it and implement it into your gameplay is up to you guys. I mean, you can completely toss what we just told you out the window, and keep playing the way you're doing. But what we're telling you is just our suggestion to climb and to play better as a team as a whole, or you can play as an individual.
Oh, okay. I think he just wants us to explain it to him more.
Your point is that you want us to contest first. Is that what your point is?
I think he's wondering why Ryan and Brig are on high ground.
Well, not just because we're all on high ground.
That holding is fine with the right comp.
You mean holding high ground?
Well, as I said, it doesn't matter where you're holding as long as you don't engage. And I think I can't speak for what?
So that's not what he means. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if they get like a tick, you guys could get in pretty quickly.
So, okay, so the reason why the team is set up the way it's set up, like with them in high ground, actually I'd probably say like the high ground is the better place to hold anyways, besides low ground. And then like the reason why you don't engage quite yet is because they're running a comp that has to stay together, right? They don't have any range heroes that can get anybody up top here or anybody up here or anybody back here. They have to move as a unit. And so like knowing that you guys are playing safe if you play away from them, and then since you guys have top high ground peaks over them, like Widow and Junk, I don't know where Junk would be playing, it doesn't matter at this point as long as he's playing at a distance, you guys can pick at them, get ult charge, right? They can't get ult charge off of you at all because they can't reach you. They have to play on point, and they're basically waiting for you to come to them in order for them to get an ult charge or in order for them to kill you guys. So instead, you guys are picking at them from a distance, and you guys just, your goal just has to be to do it as fast as you possibly can. But like they didn't get, this is not the right timestamp.
Yeah, I mean, just assume that if all you guys drop down and try to fight a 6v6 against this goats comp here, you guys are probably gonna lose because they have the sustain, I guess. I mean, we don't really. The goats is just really high sustain. It's tough to just fight on point and go against a goats comp without some sort of advantage first.
Well, I think our melee character is just Bray saying like, I think he's saying like, since we had a Rhine and a Brig, we don't really have any range tools either, but at least we could hold our shields up or something and shield the rest of the team.
Well, let me tell you this, Brave, with the team comp you guys are running, because obviously you're in a position where you can't obviously change your team comp, right? Like you're running a Widow, Junk, what are you, Brigade, Mercy, and Ryan. At the time, you guys didn't know they were going to run goats. That's just happened to be the comp you guys are playing. And luckily, that the comp you guys picked is good against goats at a long range. Now, knowing that you have those heroes, you can't switch the heroes off in order to go against the goats. The only way you can go against goats is either play that comp or you switch off and play an anti-goats comp, which would be like a shield break, and play goats yourself. Because you're already playing that comp, you really have no choice but to do this strategy here. And if you guys don't do the strategy and you guys play on point, you have Junk obviously wouldn't play on point. Widow can't play on point. So you have Brigitte, Mercy, and Ryan and Diva on point. That's 4 against 6 people. Who do you think is gonna win in that situation? Like
Widow actually is good against goats because they have 3 healers.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying.
Half
but
their team's made of squishies.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it is good, but what he's asking for is for everyone to be on point, except for probably those players. They would just 4 against 6 people. It's not going to be viable.
Well, I mean, the only person that could contest Widowmaker in the GOATS comp is going to be Diva, right? You drop down after Diva boosts up, you hook back up, and then you have the cooldown and Diva doesn't. And you're able to shoot for free again.
And even in that situation, though, like, there's an escape plan for Widow. Widow can escape easily. Mercy can heal Widow, and then Widow can also ask for a peel by our Diva. So there's an escape plan there, but for their Diva, there really isn't. That's the only person who can reach. Diva's the only one who has that reach, is to go somewhere else, but Diva can't get a heal from their team at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Pharah's okay against GOATs. I mean, Doomfist is kind of, I don't know.
Doomfist plays into their strategy.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to run Doomfist into GOATs. Sombra, I feel like it really depends, honestly.
But you're still talking about like changing the team comp. Like at that point, they're all 6 people are on point. By the time you go back and change your team comp, or you die immediately and change, like it's kind of late already. You're also just giving up. You're giving up your like your ticks too, and they just got their ult charge because they just like got you, right? Like they just killed you, and then you're gonna switch and you have 0 ult charges, or you can just build your ult and just give it away, because this is still the first point. It's not like they're capping the second point.
He left.
Oof.
Well, good thing this is on Twitch.
Feels bad.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like he's the only one who doesn't really agree with the strategy. I don't. You guys are more than welcome to speak up if you want to question or disagree. Like we can talk about it.
You want to figure this out too. It's kind of like that's why we're here, right?
I think the bigger issue was that like after this round we got so tilted. I mean, I think after the first time we got wiped, not the OT round, when we had the 2-0 advantage, we were just so quiet, and the team itself kind of like broke down at that point. We continued to play pretty well, I think, but we just weren't. Our comms went very quiet. We were obviously pretty ticked at me.
I can do one more.
Because I think I was talking to
My mic's for a second.
like I was just. I think I need to clear up that like when I'm in the game and like when I'm playing the game, I get like very, I guess intense is the word. So like my voice just sounds angry, and it's not because I'm angry at someone for not giving me heals or for going in and making like a small mistake. It's just like I'm trying to say like, okay, well, what can we do differently, kind of thing, and just saying like we have to kind of like address it as the game's playing. So maybe it's something I need to work on and not do that. But it's kind of like in any sport that I ever played, and being in like a team sport, like when someone makes a mistake, you want them to be able to correct that, or just you want to let them know like, oh hey, I'm here.
I think that's also the difference, is like because you don't have league experience. This is your first league, that you're used to making those calls in game in like a regular comp game, but like in a league game, it's not your position to make those calls. It'd be like the coach's position to teach that to them.
Right.
And so I think that's just a different, like you just need to learn that like for you, the point of the league is just to improve yourself, and then hopefully when you guys do listen to the coach's suggestions and stuff on your self-improvement, their suggestions like made by the coaches are benefiting the team itself. So even though it seems like we're just giving you guys individual advice, it's actually like a team. It's benefiting the team as a whole.
Of course, like you want, individual play helps the team play overall.
They also, I'll pause this for a second. But the other thing that I'm gonna address. This is actually what I was gonna say in the team meeting anyways, but I think I'm gonna have to do it again anyway since Brave left and a few people aren't here. But I think the team is having a difficult time with new members because new members don't know how to play with the team quite yet. It's just a trust issue. And it doesn't help that not everybody is on for practices at the same time, and then people don't really know people's game styles at all. So that's not helpful, and I think maybe that would be on our coaches to kind of decide who should be playing matches. If they haven't made the practices, then they probably shouldn't be playing the matches as often as somebody who would be playing practices. It's just difficult because you guys don't have that trust yet, and you guys don't. So like, for someone like Orchestra to come in and he's pretty what do you call it?
Loud.
Loud and
I'm very blunt too, so
blunt and stubborn.
I think the problem is not like the things that you're saying, or because most of the time I think they were right, or at least were partly right. But the complaining, like when I have no heals, that's not useful information. Like if you have 2 healers dead, there's nothing the healers can do to correct that. But if you say, hey, we need to do this, or I like to do that, or something that we can use like in the next 30 seconds, that helps cleaning up comps, and we know you're just like being useful. And just saying stuff that we all know and we cannot act upon it doesn't benefit anyone in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just sometimes when you like the healers are dead, I don't actually know that the healers are dead. I'm just like, where's the heals? Like, what's going on, kind of thing. Just
and that's definitely something you would need to work on, is to pay attention to your feed a little bit better.
Right. But it's never an attack. I'm never saying like, oh, I'm not getting heals because the healers are bad. It's just me saying, oh, I see my hit points going down, getting closer to 0, and I'm just trying to let everyone know like I need heals. It's never saying that I think the healers are inadequate, and I hope it doesn't come off that way.
Maybe it's better if you are like more blunt. Like, I need heals. It works every time.
Yeah.
And it's shorter, maybe.
I think he did say that a couple of times, but I think it still kind of comes off like a demand. And then like,
yeah, I'm okay. Personally, I'm okay with that. Like, it's the fastest way to let me know that you need something. If you're a DPS or a tank or whatever, and I happen to be like not paying attention, it helps me. I need healing. I'm by that side. Tanks, normally I know where they are. Where sometimes DPS are a little more sneaky.
I think the fine line is him asking for demanding for the heals, but then also not having healers there to do it.
I don't know. Like, half of the times he had a Mercy and a Nor from him, and he was calling for heals, but it was too much damage. And the other half of the time, I was like dead or dealing with some flanker or other.
And that's totally fine. It's just like I said, it's just a lot of it is me just it's not me trying to be demanding or trying to be rude, or it's just like when I'm in a competitive environment, I just sound like that. And like, you guys know me outside of the games, and I would like to think I'm pretty reasonable to talk to. But when the game's over, it's the game's over, and then we're talking as a team and blah blah blah. After the games we're going to the team meetings or whatnot, my tone changes obviously. But when I'm in the zone and trying to play and just focusing, it's not me saying like, oh yeah, like healers suck, or like the DPS sucks. Like it's just me saying like, oh, just me trying to make my calls. But I do understand that sometimes I do sound arrogant in the tone. I just want everyone to know that it's not me trying to be arrogant or thinking like that I'm the best player, or expecting all these things to go on like perfectly. It's just me in the moment, just saying like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. It's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of just how I am.
So Brave left, but he's still talking in the team chat, and he's not in here, so he's just talking.
It might be good for Brave to come back in.
I mean, I asked him. I mean, he's not going to. Brave is brave. He's not gonna do that. Oh, he's not even talking about like this situation right now. He's still talking about the goats thing. So what he's saying is, I'm not saying Widow was a bad blind pick. How was Alice supposed to know? You guys literally misunderstand everything I'm saying. We were talking about what best counters goats, and I was told Doom is a bad pick. He said that his point is pros are using Sombra, Doomfist, and Ana to counter goats. Sombra to disable, Ana to deny heals, and Fist to for picks.
I don't think we were even talking about what counters goats. I think we were just trying to talk about in that situation what should have our comp done.
Right.
Yeah, I understood that too.
Yeah. Like I understood that our comp wasn't ideal for fighting goats. I wouldn't disagree on that. But I think with the tools that we had on our comp, that we could have dealt with it if we just took our just a little more patience. I guess that was my whole point.
I wouldn't say that our comp was bad against goats.
It could be worse, yeah.
It could be worse, but it actually was pretty good that we picked what we picked because we had long range versus people that need to be up front. So I don't think it was a bad pick at all. But I think he's just talking about like an alternative pick to going against him, and I don't think like maybe that's our bad for not hearing that out and like talking about what his counters are, because we were just focused on that particular situation. But he's just saying that the pros he thinks against goats would be Sombra, Doomfist, and Ana. Orcus, just forget it, man. It's brave.
I'll send him a DM.
You guys, I mean, maybe you can send him a DM, but I don't think you know.
Like he thought I was attacking him last night.
Well, you guys have issues that you need to work out individually. I don't know.
Well, I have no issue, but I do feel like he felt like I was attacking him last night.
Yeah, I was a little confused about the Doomfist thing because at first glance it doesn't seem like he would counter goats, I guess. I mean, if pros run it, then they make it work, though. Pros can do anything.
But the problem with like we're not pros. That's the thing.
I know, yeah. I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't even know if it would take like pro Doomfist skill to pull it off. I mean, I'm assuming it does though because Diva and Zarya can be
But I
pretty
don't
annoying
think
for a Doomfist.
you have to be like pro to do it. Like they are going against other pros, so they are like most of the time evenly matched. So
That's
maybe
true. Also, that's true.
their
Also, that's
choices
the
have
point.
to be optimal. So maybe in Plat you can like play Ana into a Tracer, a Genji, and Diva, and you make it work. But to make that work at pro level, you have to be like way above pro level.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard because different heroes also have different like skill ceilings. Like
Yeah,
Tracer
that's
was really
true.
good for a while because she had this really high skill ceiling, right? So
Yeah.
pros just like pushed her to her absolute limits. I don't know though. I don't know if it's the same case for Doomfist. I actually just don't know. That's a good point though, Don.
So I didn't watch the second half of this yet, but I assumed it had fell apart.
We actually came back in Nepal and Hollywood. We played really well. I think we were a little quieter, but I think we did rally a little bit. But I don't know if it's
okay. Well, I will watch it, but I'm just not gonna do this VOD quite yet because I have to go back to work. But I'm hoping this kind of, I mean, we covered the goats thing and the disagreement. The recap is that it was nobody's fault. And then we kind of just went over the strategy a little bit more about it. There was still disagreement, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And
since you guys are here, would it be better if I just left? Because like Brave's the captain, right? So I don't want to be.
I feel
the
like
guy who makes your team fall apart. I don't know.
I don't I don't know. I feel like this could happen with other players too, you know? Not like anyone we have right now necessarily, but like if we bring someone else on, this could happen again. I mean, like you leaving might just be like that would be like a temporary fix, you know? These might be like larger issues at hand.
Yeah.
That's true. And I would say I don't think the team really has a team captain. I think team captain is the wrong role name. It's really team rep, which is what the original position was supposed to be called. It's just so that they can help schedule the matches and then help organize the actual like matches and outlet and stuff like that. So I don't think the team has really selected a team captain per se. I think the coaches kind of act as that role right now, and that might be something we want to talk about as a team. I don't know. I think you guys are all grown-ups. You guys can figure these things out, and if you can't, then somebody make this decision. There's only 2 games left in the season before a new season starts, and so we have to reevaluate like who's gonna stay and who's not gonna stay, because I think like somebody became inactive. Kat's kind of inactive, so I'd like to see if she wants to stick around or not, or we can put her in as an inactive and fill her position. But regardless, you guys, I think you guys are old enough to work it out, and if you guys really can't work it out, then we can come in and intervene. But yeah.
Yeah, because like I said before, it's nothing. It was never the things that I said was never to like put breakdown or anything like that, right? It was just things that I noticed and I just talk about them because I have no filter. But like, yeah, I hope I don't want to come out as like this dick. You know what I mean?
I'll talk to you separately on some tips on that kind of stuff. But I think we addressed it enough here. Who's on right now? I mean, this is also being streamed, so hopefully somebody watches it later. But like Sai and Dawn are here, and then is somebody else on earlier, or was it just Brave?
I think it was just Brave.
Yeah, I think it was only Brave.
Okay. Well, this will be up for people to watch. And then we'll talk a little bit more at the team meeting. But hopefully you guys have like a day to kind of talk amongst yourselves about it. I mean, I don't know. Brave is just saying that he doesn't think he doesn't really want to talk to anyone about this right now.
Yeah, I sort of saw that. I saw that.
I mean, I would argue that he does have an issue and he does need to address it, or else it's going to be an issue, like a bigger issue later. So I don't know.
That's how issues usually are.
I mean, as his peers, I would encourage you guys to like, I don't know, maybe he needs the space right now, but talk to him later about it, or encourage him to like speak his mind, because he's just the type of person who likes holds things and bottles up, and then it becomes like a bigger issue later. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he just needs some time. I like right now. It's probably just anger right now. Not really.
Yeah.
In the mindset too.
I can send him a DM, but I don't know if that's.
No, I don't have to do that right now.
Okay.
You could send him one later if you want. I mean, if I were you though, I would just wait.
Orchestra, just as like a tip too, and I told Don this before, and I think it helped him with his shot calling, is to just do like a play-by-play, like voice out your play-by-play of what you're doing and thinking. That way you get in the habit of like actually calling out when you're about to do ults and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys individually. This stream is over.
Okay. See you,
you.
Cal.